Hello and welcome back to the Johnny Gets Cash YouTube channel, and to this, part 10 of my Daihatsu Fourtrak restoration series. Last time, you saw me custom fabricate the new tough as nails sills. In this episode, I'll be finishing up the floor panels, tying everything together, and then fully stripping, treating and protecting the underside of the Fourtrak body, ready for paint and to be dropped back onto the chassis. If you were wondering why I removed all of the factory sound deadening, the driver's footwell is a perfect example of how moisture can be trapped and lead to hidden corrosion. Removing the sound deadening means that I can remove all rust and apply treatment to make sure it doesn't come back. Now that the inside floor is finished, everything's solid and been coated, I'm going to move on to the front inner arches. You can see a bit of surface corrosion, so I need to sort all that out next. But get that sorted out and eventually get that in rust converter and then chip to protect it, and go from there. So the next thing I've got to sort out is a little bit of corrosion I found. A bit I knew about already, which is on the slam panel here, the lower part of the slam panel, so that needs to be cut out. Need to fabricate something new and put that in there, make that solid. But a little bit I've discovered that I didn't know about. There's a couple of little rat holes just down on the underside of the bulkhead, only on this side, but it's just as well I found them now, so I can be sorting them before we go into converter and stone chip. So that is what I'll be cracking on with next. Okay, so that is that patch made up, fabricated, welded in. That is solid, ready to go. I've also done those couple of little bits under there. So this is now ready for treatment and stone chip, and then I can move on to the next part. Okay, we are finally getting there. It would appear that all the welding is now finished. Now I say it would appear that way because every time I thought I've been done to this point, I found something else that needed to be sorted. Typical Fourtrak issues, but I think I'm on top of everything now. And what's more, the underside of the vehicle has been fully stripped. It's been chemically converted. It's been seam sealed, etch primed and chipped. So I'll show you what that looks like now, but we've got a completely solid body now. And the next thing after the floor pan's been shown to you is the engine bay. You saw me doing those wings. Well, I'm just going to freshen up the engine bay before this body goes back on the chassis so that when the engine appears back in here, this is all fresh and ready to go. The slam panel's been repaired and chipped, obviously, and the underside, as I mentioned, is now completely finished. It's probably hard to see with the supports I've got in because it's off its subframe lattice at the moment. I've got it on drainage pallets, but everything, including those sills, is completely solid. The original seam sealer was all taken out of this chassis. Any slight rust was dealt with, and then obviously everything's been chemically converted and resealed, etched and chipped. So I'm really pleased that this is totally solid now. So next phase is to get on and do some more on the engine bay and the inner wings. Get some primer on there, get some colour on there, and then we're ready to hopefully drop the body back onto the chassis very soon. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching this episode on the Fourtrak restoration. I had really wanted to conclude today's episode with me dropping this body back onto the chassis. However, with one thing and another, there's so much going on in the workshop all the time, I just haven't got there. I've run out of time, and to be honest, I think you've waited long enough for this episode. So I figured it was better to draw a line under it here. With all the welding complete, with the chemical conversion done, the protection, the primer, it's basically ready for colour underneath and in the engine bay and slam panel here. So what I'd like to do is next episode I'll get those bits done. When that's fully cured, I will get this body put back onto the chassis, and then we can start with the really exciting stuff of rebuilding things, you know, getting things running again. But for now, I'm going to have to draw a line under the episode today. So here it is. All the welding is finished. We do have finally a solid Fourtrak at long last. Yes, there's still a bit of bodywork to do. You can see just down the side here. The bodywork's a later stage. This phase was all about getting rid of all the rot, all the horrible nastiness that you can't necessarily see. And I'll be honest, there was a lot more than even I realised. If I'm being completely honest, if I knew then what I know now when I bought this truck about how much rust and corrosion and hidden damage there was, would I have taken it on? It's very hard to say because this project has run on and on, but I'm glad I've done it. You know, I'm glad I've got it to this stage, and I can say hand on heart that this is 100% a rot-free Fourtrak body at long last. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on. I wanted to get it back on the chassis this episode. I haven't done that, so I'm sorry about that. But next episode, that is the goal. So please join me then. If you'd like to see that episode and you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe and turn on your notifications. You'll get a notification telling you when that video is live. Then you can join me as we put the body back on the chassis. But anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.